Got this. Mickey, you on your share game? He hasn't said none, so I'll go ahead and share. Not. I know Wintus is in share jail because, of course, she is. Share more options to a group. Reboot. What'd you name this one, Mickey? Never mind.
I'm already sharing, Trevor. That's what I was doing.
That's what I was asking you. I was about to start sharing myself. All right. So we've gone over council the past few days. What's going on in the school board?
So, wow, this is just crazy. I just happened to see a post about the FBI. This is a lot going on, but as far as the school board goes, we are currently recently. Have we been on since we voted to close the 2 schools? We haven't been on since then, have we?
We were on Saturday.
We were on Saturday. Okay, so we talked about us closing the schools.
Yep, and the reason why, and right sizing, and getting your budget straight.
Okay, so now, I think what I'd like to do is we've reached some milestones and we've done some things that haven't been done in the district before. We've got an app that's getting ready to come out. Flint School Board, Flint Community Schools app, like you can download off the App Store, and it's gonna work real time with the website, and if I'm not mistaken, each individual school's website as well. So everything's you'll be able to plug into, hit the app and go to where you need to go. We thought that would be a lot more convenient. Seeing this is a day and age of technology, and we're like the only school district that doesn't have an app. Beecher's got an app. Grand Blancs, of course, got an app.
You're like the only school system that doesn't have technology, my man.
But that's okay because we're coming. It's coming. We also have. We recently. We're going to start uploading all the pictures of. We recently took pictures of board members and the administration, so we're going to start uploading pictures of us and all the staff to the website. Again, stepping into the 20th century. Let me see. Also, one thing that I don't want to discuss too much about, but I do want to talk about a little bit, is that it was kind of brought to our attention that we didn't have a place to play our homecoming football game, which is completely absurd to me. But I knew that we had some issues with Houston Stadium, which is the stadium that's up at Northwestern High School. Can y'all hear me okay? Is my volume all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so. Doc, can you tell us if you can hear Mr. Clack all right? All right. So anyway, we're missing a place for the kids to play.
Yeah.
The homecoming game?
Yeah, well, that's just the games, period. Because I'm not sure what's going on with the power up at Houston Stadium, but there's some issues with consumers and with the power. Although the stadium is about, 40, 50 years outdated. I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't know exactly how outdated it is, but, it's outdated. So what we're looking to do is currently we're looking to, since we've got the money, we're looking to put some upgrades into our home football field, which would be at Northwestern Stadium, which would be Houston Stadium.
Okay.
So what it looks like to me, I'm not the entire board. I'm just speaking on my own behalf right now. So what that looks like is I'm assuming that I'm not. Have you been up there before, Trevor?
Which one?
To Northwestern, the Houston Stadium.
I think that's one that you and Satara drove me to.
That's the one with the driver's training range up behind it?
Yep. You've taken me up there.
Leave me alone. Okay,
People
that's
calling
one
you?
with the huh?
People calling you or something?
Yeah, that's the same person who I just told they had the wrong number right before we got on now.
All
But
right.
so what my
And he ran away. All right, so let me. Oh, here we go. He's back.
all right, how about that?
The sound is it's crinkly and distant, and you've got an echo.
How about now?
Much better.
All right. So to me, what I'm going to propose is that I'm not going to exactly say the amount out now, but that we put some money in there into a Houston stadium. We redo the field, take the grass out, put in synthetic grass or whatever that looks like. Um,
You'd probably be
we
better off
redo
with
the
some
locker room.
AstroTurf, boss man.
Well, I don't even know if it's called AstroTurf anymore, but you know, the synthetic grass.
Yeah.
So but yeah, we're on the same page. The AstroTurf, synthetic grass, the mono, whatever it is, you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's cheap.
Um,
Well, cheaper in the long run. You don't have to pay
it is
people to
cheaper to
mow it.
maintain. It definitely is cheaper to maintain. But also would be to maybe if we could use the existing structure of the stand, so to speak, and just take the seats out and put newer seats in um, to save some money. Maybe if we were to leave the existing rail system in, like the rails, leave those there and add some new ones going straight up and down the rows, the aisles rather. We can paint those, I guess, to make them master school colors. I guess that's to save a couple of dollars, but we definitely would have to redo the press box, all do lighting. I'd like to move to LED lights, surveillance system, uh, opponent bleachers. Just let our
Make them
kids
not as
know.
comfortable so their parents don't come.
Well, we want them to come because we want them to spend their money, and you know.
Okay, yeah, spend their money's fine, but I don't want them to root for their kids as hard.
Well, well, I mean, if you just in the name of Flint schools, yeah, but we do want them to root for their kids, But support is key. But I see what you're saying. We don't want them to come and root too hard because this is
Yeah,
Flint.
we got to get the other team's morale down.
Right. So, but yeah, so there's just, also, what I would also like to propose is that we extend the driver's training range. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how much land we have back behind the school. But we could maybe implement CDL training, bring the driver's training program back, implement the CDL training, maybe motorcycle training, maybe even contract with the local police districts and have their, driver's classes, safety classes, however they do it, tactical classes, whatever. And maybe even put like a police mini station up there. I guess we'd have to talk to the city and talk to, I don't know, what's that Mount Morris Township up there they'll be borderline with. Um,
I
but
think so,
just
yeah.
different ways that the school district could bring in money, because if we have the track is in pretty good shape. I'd probably like to get it resurfaced and repainted. But all of this can be done for a couple of $1 million that we have to spend. We can do
I
it. I
mean,
don't want to
you have
put it.
ESSER funds for renovations of schools, and you've already started the bid and all that for making sure that the kids got their heating, their cooling, and things are cleaned up. So if you got the extra few mil to put into the school that will help bring in revenue, I think it's a good idea because it ends up paying for itself in the long run, right?
That's
Like
the
those are the
idea.
kind of government programs I truly enjoy because they pay for themselves and they don't cost me an arm, a leg, a firstborn child, my favorite dog, in taxes. Just saying,
Well, the
I
idea
really
is
enjoy my dog.
the idea is also to bring enrollment back up, because like we don't really have. The fact of the matter is you would like to promote student scholars, scholar athletes, right? But the fact of the matter is we have a lot of athlete scholars. Like myself, I was an athlete scholar. I was more of an athlete than a student. I would rather,
I'm gonna say you really don't. That other schools, other districts have come in and swooped up your athletes.
right.
You got to give them an
So
incentive to stay.
exactly. So my idea is to redo the football, start with the football program, because that's the biggest program that you got anyway. But
Hmm.
I don't know, there's, meet with, the people that we need to meet with, the superintendent, the athletic director, the coaches, the staff, whoever we need to meet with. And, we talk about what we're going to do as far as, um, renovations and, we've got to talk to our construction management team and all those people, but renovations and upgrades and modernizing and, all of that different type of good stuff. And, I was even thinking even revamp our jerseys and just let our kids get some new stuff. You know what I mean? Like while we've got the money to spend on it, we can do for our kids. You know what I mean? Like there's no reason why they got to be, you know. Here's what I saw, and I'm just gonna say we had a game the other day on Friday. There were
Hmm.
at least 30 kids out there on the football team, and and they I don't think they might have won a game or two, but they don't have the best record. But at the end of the day, if they still got 30 kids, 30 to 40 kids out there playing and they're losing, then that means that they got that shows promise to me. So if you give them a little bit, they'd be willing to play harder. You know what I mean? Like they'd be willing to, put more out if we put more in. So I just think that we need to stop neglecting them and give them more and stop holding back on them.
So
Does that make
that makes a lot of sense. Like before I deployed, we got a rapid field issue, right? So before that, I was running around in old IBA, a 25-pound vest. And when I got issued my plate carrier, I was stoked. All the privates were stoked. You just get a new thing and you feel better. So you get those kids some new gear, some new jerseys. Hey, we're in a, you know, revamped stadium. They're going to be pumped, for the first year or three, and then it's going to be the old stadium again. But in the meantime, as long as you guys can maintain it, that's the big thing. It has to be maintained. So
mm-hmm.
having the big
Now,
plan now to get it up and running is great, but having a long-term plan to make sure it stays up and running and looking good, that's the bigger part, my man.
now, I forgot my notebook upstairs because I've been taking notes. Like I've really been into this and like I've really been studying and I've really been like really been taking notes. I got a whole outline and everything. I was working on a PowerPoint. I like I'm gonna wait until it comes till we get it, all tenfold and everybody does their due diligence. But me personally, I've got an entire presentation that I'm just waiting to present to the board about my ideas. Now, sure enough, I'm just one person, but I do know sports, I do know athletics, and I do know um
You ran away again.
I do know a little bit about maintaining an athletic program. So here's the thing: we've got a track that's already MHSAA, Michigan High School Athletic Association certified. It's already 400 meters all the way around. It's good. We can have invitational track meets. We can have local track meets, dual track meets. We can have anything there. We can, so the idea that I have is my son and my daughter run and ran AAU track. And the AAU track meets are down in Detroit at Renaissance High School every weekend. They make on the low end $50,000 a weekend at these AAU track meets. That's registration fees for each participant. That's $5 for each person, admission for each person that wants to spectate. And then there's parking, depending on, you got to pay depending on where you got to park. On top of that, you got concessions, and then you got merchandise and all that type of good stuff. So they make on a low end $50,000 a weekend, every single weekend. So I'm thinking if we can, that's just track. If we got a football field that was updated, if we got lacrosse lines drawn on it, soccer lines drawn on it, that means we could
Mhm.
also have soccer games. Lacrosse, I don't even know how to play lacrosse, but if we got the field drawn, the field line for it, we could have lacrosse games. We could also have the little league teams, the little league leagues that are around here. They at least they want somewhere to play. Is there so many different ways that you can make money off a field and a track? You know what I mean? Then we
Yeah,
got
like I grew up playing Pop Warner football.
right.
You know, it, God bless it, dogs. Yeah, so these little leagues and smaller leagues, things that aren't really attached to the schools, but depend on the schools, because a lot of those, I remember playing Pop Warner. I had to bring a report card, and if I got so many failed grades or so many grades below a certain standard, they'd kick me off the team, and this wasn't even conjoined with the schools. And if I got a C in core subjects, they'd take me off the field a game per C.
Right.
Like, they were very rough. They wanted to make sure that the focus was academics, and then the athletics was like a bonus or an add-on, instead of, oh yeah, all I'm gonna do is play football, and people are gonna, no, you're gonna be a student first, and if you can't do both, then you're off the team.
Yep. So I guess I'm just telling them. I may as well. So I think that at the low end, if we start to bring back athletics, and that's our whole entire, if we I don't want to say gut our entire school district athletics, but if we revamp, you know what I mean? Like if we start looking at what these schools that are successful in their programs, that have successful athletic programs like a Davidson or a Grand Blanc, and what they do, it like, I don't want to say just model our programs behind it, but they got to be doing something right if they're coming to get all of our athletes and they're winning state championships and playing football games at the big house down at U of M Stadium, and you know what I mean? Like, so it might take us 5-10 years to get to where my vision says, and I'll be long gone by then. But at the end of the day, at least we can put the plans in motion so these kids can have something, like, while we have the money. You know what I mean? Like, while we have the ability to do so, we can go and make a stadium. I just feel like if they don't want us to come play at Atwood, if they're not welcome to play at Atwood Stadium, that's fine. You know what I mean? We've got our own stadium. We can go fix our own stuff up, and we can make our stuff look. It might not be as dope as a $44 million, complex that they got out there in Grand Blanc, sports complex. But if we can put a couple of million into the north side, and there ain't no telling, you know what I mean? Like we could even start our own 40 and up flag football league up on the north side. You know what I mean? Like I'll play in that, you know what I mean? But
I'm too young.
35 and up, 30 and up, it doesn't matter. Like we've got the facilities to do it. We can't do it now because the lights won't cut on, the scoreboard don't work, the PA system don't work. You know what I mean? Like we can't. There's too many don't works. There's too many we ain't got. There's too many we can't. So if we got the money and the means, we may as well start turning them we ain't got into yes we cans, and let's go ahead and do it and put something up there. You know what I mean? Like what's the high school? There's New Standard right down the street from Northwestern. You know, we might could contract with them about home games. Like I think they play. Yeah, they played at there. Yeah. So there ain't no telling. There's endless possibilities that we could make money, if we just put into some money, put a little bit of money in. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it turns self-sustaining.
If
you give me 1 second while you keep going on that, my child has apparently fallen back asleep, and I need to let my dogs in. They're going crazy in the background.
All right, cool. So, let me see. What else can I talk about? Oh, even though Northwestern is closed, I still got a couple of ideas about what I could do with that school. Like, I don't know, continuing education. You can get we don't have a GED program, I don't think, in the Flint school. So I'm thinking that we can, kind of do something with that. And we used to have, Mickey, you still there? We used to have the pro-am basketball games up at Northwestern. And back then they was pretty lit. We could bring them pro-am basketball games back up to Northwestern. The gym is cool. The gym is cool. I think the locker rooms are cool, but everything could use an upgrade. So I don't know. We could so many different things that we can do. I don't know. I can't see no comments though. How do I see the comments? Guess I gotta open my computer up. All right. I'm about to see the comments real quick. Hold on. Let me see if there are any comments.
All right.
I know sometimes.
Well, I'm back. Trying not to show off my PJs, but it is what it is.
I was trying to go off. I don't know. My computer's acting real slow. I can't see the comments.
Throw it. Throw it across the room.
I need this one though.
Okay. Throw it. We did get a couple questions further up though. So right versus wrong is asking, is Clack saying that he will put pictures of the school admin staff or 810 on the website? Obviously the school admin staff.
On what website? On the school website?
Yeah, you were talking about the school website and app.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't put them on 810's website if that's what they were asking.
Yeah, no. I think there's a bit of a confusion there, but it would be good for parents to know, because how often do we actually get people showing up to your meetings?
Not as often as I would like. I would like for people to come down and voice their opinions on what they feel like we're doing or not doing.
Well,
more like what we're doing.
Even if they're the shy public speaker type, it's good to know who your school board members are, right? And going off of Facebook, you're just going to get the pretty pictures like, oh yeah, this is what I looked like on a great day, but then they're going to catch you on a bad day where you're looking like a bag of smashed, yeah. And they're not going to recognize you. Almost like Judy last week. She didn't recognize you. You were in training clothes.
Well, plus I had my shades on and not my regular glasses.
And shades, right? So, having pictures to where a parent can go, is that, yeah, that is Superintendent, Mr. Jones, or yeah, that is President Clack, or yeah, that is Dylan Luna. That way they can approach you, not necessarily in a school board meeting. They run into you at Walmart. Like, oh, hey, yeah, this is going on. And, I like what you guys are doing here, X, Y, and Z. Possibly, could you guys think about, A, B, and C? Just right. A little bit of letting folks know who you are through that is a huge deal. Otherwise, it seems like you're trying to hide, which I know you're not. You're up here with me, and I got one of the biggest mouths in Flint.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not trying to hide. Like, my phone number is everywhere. You know what I mean? Thank God people don't just call me with the bullshit, with the BS. But my phone number is on my official school board website, my campaign website. It's like that's my number. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I got business cards that I pass out all over the city, so both my phone numbers are on either one card or the other. So I don't have nowhere to hide. My Facebook is open. I had to close my Instagram because my students were all getting on there and doing weird stuff, but
oh no.
Yeah.
Just wait. Tiki-talkies are becoming a thing now. I saw one where a kid was wandering around his school calling every teacher by their first name.
They think that's cool. They think that is cool. Like, that is the most disrespectful thing. Like, you be up there teaching and somebody say, "Is that all, Michael?" Like, it's like, what? Like,
I earned the Mr. I earned the Mr. Please use the Mr.
Like, my name is Mr. Clack until you graduate from college. I don't care what you're talking about. Like, I got students right now that ex-students that I see, they call me Mr. Clack, and it's like, hey, look, man, is that your baby right there? Yeah. How old are you? 30. You can call me Clack now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gotta call, like you can drop the Mr. Like, we cool. Like, but to all them young ones, no, I'm still Mr. Clack. Don't get it twisted.
It damn well better be. I mean, look, there's a difference between having a friend in the classroom that is a teacher and your teacher being your friend, right? So being comfortable enough with your teacher to walk up and say, hey, I'm having this problem at home, Mr. Clack, as compared to, hey, Mike, how was getting completely hammered last Wednesday or whatever? Like, no, child, we are not on that level of friendship, and we never will be.
Nah.
By the time you're my age, I'm going to be, either on a walker or in a wheelchair. There's going to be some pretty young nurse feeding me applesauce because I lost all my teeth and I got my dentures. And no, we will never be on that level, kiddo.
Yeah. But, that just shows my age because I got kids that are students that are 30 years old.
And then I do want to wrap back around. You said you were thinking of a police mini station.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would have better luck talking to that wall behind you about a police mini station than getting, well, no, you might even get one up, but you'll never have it staffed, boss. Well, let's be honest here.
Well, here's the thing. That's why I said, I don't know what that would look like. Again, I'm not in law enforcement or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Or I don't work for the city or the county or whatnot. But the idea was to have like a station, I don't know, like a combined conjunction with Flint and Mount Morris. Because, Mount Morris, they are always up there anyway. Like I think one side of the street down from Northwestern is Mount Morris and the other side is Flint. So if you could, I don't know what that would look like, but it's just somewhere that they could sit there with a radio, a refrigerator, a microwave, and some donuts. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what else a mini station would use. Maybe a little lockup or whatnot. But then again, that would be kind of pointless if you got driver's training right around in the same building. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Maybe a first aid kit if these students are, learning to drive and someone smashes in on a curb and rolls the car. Okay, now you got a first responder. That's cool. But I'm just saying, like, if you're thinking of talking to the city of Flint and their police, you're not going to have an officer there. It's just going to be a vacant building, just like across from Kettering, just like up in the second ward where the second ward councilwoman holds her, little community meetings. That place is only opened up for those meetings. There's never a cop around.
The idea would be more like, I guess not necessarily like a mini station, but like I guess like a resource place. I guess, like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out. Maybe a place where they have the ability to meet. I don't know, whatever. But
I mean, no, it's a good idea. I just wanted to talk mean about these little mini stations. Like, I like where your head's at, boss. And, maybe a little building type thing in that area that can be swapped out. Periodically recruiters can come in, use the space, make sure that, they're not lying to the kids because recruiters do that a lot. Firefighters or, whole little job fairs in their type deal, like career fairs. Hey, here's what we can provide you if you join the nursing field. Hey, here's what teaching gets you. Then you provide them with a giant bottle of aspirin because all it gives you is headaches. But, more on down that line.
40 ounces, a couple of 40 ounces. But nah, the job is being funny. But yeah, teaching is definitely a stressful job, but it's rewarding in a different way. Not in the pay way, but when you got some kids that, come back 10 years later and they're like, hey, Mr. Clack, remember when you told me blah, 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 blah. When you think they're not really paying attention, but they really are, that's the reward.
Kids' little brains are designed to absorb information even when they're not paying attention. It's terrifying. I remember, 7th grade, I was sitting there talking with a friend in the chair in front of me while the teacher was talking. And she goes, excuse me, Trevor. Can you tell me what I was just saying? And I said it verbatim and then went back to my conversation with my friend.
I used to hate that. Like, could you tell me what, like, if you were to ask me that, like, now, like, I don't know, I could even tell you what I was just saying. Like,
Yeah, right. Like I honestly can't keep up with more than 3 sounds at once. I don't know what's going on in this room right now, Miss Ramos. I'm sorry. God,
yeah,
having me as a student now is terrible. I tried going back to college a few years ago, and the teacher was telling it, or the professor was telling us to read one thing, look something else up, and they were giving a lecture at the same time, and I couldn't do any of the 3 at once. I've realized I've lost a lot of brain power since, I turned over 25.
yeah, me myself, definitely. But I did, that was because I really enjoyed my 20s and early 30s. I'll just say that. I ain't gonna say much more than that.
But, okay, I know you showed up to council late earlier
Yeah.
this week, but we're gonna change gears right here on you. Did you hear about what they wanted to do with the opiate settlement money?
So I tried to watch it a little bit afterwards. Is that what they wanted to open up the mini station at the old in the Hallwood Plaza at the old credit at the not credit at the
That
bank? Is
was
that
a last minute tack on to make it sound like it wasn't a bad idea. So they wanted to take that Huntington Bank and turn it into a place where you can go and pay your water bill. And anyone with some common sense knows you can go to several of these little convenience stores around here and pay it. You can go to any Western Union because they have bill pays there and pay it. You can go online and pay it. You can send a check to pay it, or money order X, Y, and Z, or you can go into the city hall itself and pay it. There's so many options. This is just throwing money away. It was 105,000 for the year for them to lease this place, which comes out to $8,750 a month. And when the councilman from the third ward asked, "Is this all we're going to do with this? Like, is there any other services?" Mind you, he wasn't outright saying no. He was asking if they were thinking anything else. Clyde comes, "Oh, well, yeah, we were thinking of putting a police mini station there." I'm sorry. That was just your first thing off the cuff. I mean, it wasn't a bad off the cuff pitch. At least he came up with something rather than "I'll have to get back to you," like we're constantly hearing. But that's opiate settlement funds. Flint has had a crisis with drugs for a while. I mean, of all sorts and varieties, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure growing up here, you've known a few folks. My wife has told me of several of her friends that are no longer with us because of overdoses growing up in Flint.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, my kids have friends over. I don't know what those kids get up to. I have bottles of Narcan in my house in case one comes over and is overdosing. Right?
Look, I feel so bad, Becky Brown. I got you. We got a meeting tonight. I promise. I'll bring it up. Go ahead. Sorry, Trevor.
Okay. Honestly, I thought a better plan for those opiate funds would be to staff every one of these mini police stations with, I don't know, a nurse or someone who can administer Narcan and possibly provide immediate aid. I mean, at least the funds are going toward what it was originally intended for, fighting the opioid crisis here. But, I just want to know your thoughts on that. Like, how else could we use those funds to combat an epidemic in our community?
Well, here's the thing. I know it's a different time, a different day and age, but I remember when I was growing up, there was a program that the police had. I think it was all national, but it was called DARE, and it was like drug awareness something as drug awareness something. But they had this really cool song "Dare to Keep a Kid Off Drugs." Like it had this, I remember that. But what they would do is they would have these, they would talk. The police would come into our classroom, and they would talk to us about the importance of staying away from drugs, and of course that didn't help 100% of the time, because some of them same people that were in class with me taking the DARE class are, either have been to or are currently in prison for selling those same narcotics that we were talking about staying away from. But at the end
Dare.
of the day,
I remember Dare actually. It's drug abuse resistance education.
yeah.
It was my favorite time of the week or I guess the month when the officer would come in because we weren't doing math.
Mm-hmm. I'm not doing math. So I remember I was at Garfield at the time. I think I was in the 5th grade. Miss Butler and Mr. Butler and Mr. Butler and Mrs. I don't know, but we had Officer Yancey, who was you guys, who this might show you guys days, but Officer Yancey was the bodyguard of Woodrow Stanley for a lot of years. So, but yeah, and they would, he came in and he would, tell us about drugs and tell us to stay away from drugs. We watch videos. He showed us even, the beginning, a little bit of gun safety. He ain't never, let us hold this gun, but he always, talked about guns and, staying away and, whatever. But we could put some money into programs like that, at least starting back in the schools, having at least the police having more of a preventative role than a after you
Punishment.
commit the crime, I'm coming to get you, and that everybody hates the police. You know what I mean? Like more proactive than reactive. You know what I mean? That could be a start. I'd rather see the money going into programs for the kids. Telling them how to stay away from opioids, and this is what it looks like if you do. If you see, mommy strung out or mommy hung over or mommy, passed out on the couch. This is what you should do, or you know what I mean? Like I think I'd
Roll
rather
her
see
onto her side.
right. You know what I mean? Call 911, do whatever. I'd rather see the money, that way. You don't even need $100,000 a year to do that. You know what I mean? Just a couple of cops just willing to whatever.
And
I
I
don't
think
know.
Flint picked up 1.7 mil in opiate funds, the opiate settlement. And Philip Lee here was right. Dare was a colossal failure. However, I get what Clack's coming on to. It's more of a stop the problem before it's a problem. And there are many ways to do that. And the best way to do that is with children because of, like we just mentioned, their brains are little sponges. You actually show them pictures and you actually show them what this does and, the lows and all this. And it sticks with them. I mean, yeah, it might be considered trauma training kids through the trauma of these horrible pictures and horrible things that happen to you when you're strung out on Vicodin or whatever. But if it keeps them away from it and keeps them healthy, I might be for a little trauma on the child.
But here would be my question: is if it's going to be a bill payment center, if you go there to pay your bills, will your bill be like? Will it be effective like immediately, or is it going to take 24 to 48 hours? Like if you was to go to Kroger or something like that. Like, is it going to be like will the bill?
It's supposed to be run by the city, so they're probably going to use that. Basically, take your money, log into the website that we all go through anyway, right, and pay it right there. Like, yes, paid, received, okay, and update. But I just don't see that building being worth $8,750 a month, and especially a water bill place being worth that much a month.
Why?
There's so much more the city could be doing.
Why? Here's this shit to me is like a slap in the face. Okay, here we are. 10 years in the game, into a water crisis, and you want to put into the most infested water area in the city a water bill payment center.
Oh, it gets worse.
Water that we ain't even supposed to be using anyway.
It gets worse. Tony Wiggins pointed this out, that they have a check, payday loan place right next to it in the same little like mall area. Like, okay. So if you can't pay your water bill, go to those people who are going to charge you 3-digit interest rate over 100% if you're late on one payment, And now you're further in debt with some people who will just drop a lawyer on you instead of turn off your water, which you shouldn't be using anyway.
Why don't they take that money? Here's the thing. I listened to Councilwoman Burns, and she was on a podcast on TikTok, maybe last week or before. And there were two other ladies on the podcast with her, one from, I don't know, and the other from like New Jersey somewhere. And the one lady from New Jersey was saying, she was a nurse, and she was saying how her mayor and, you know, worked with the governor and, you know, of all the major cities, and they spent all their ARPA funds, and they zeroed out everybody's water bill, and they zeroed out everybody's power bill. And, you know, like they did what they were supposed to do with the ARPA funds. The community, like the city really got the money. Well, they didn't really get the money, but they were affected by the money. You know, like they felt the effects of the ARPA funds. Like, whereas you can pick any street up on the north side, north of Pearson Road. You can go down either ML King, you can go down Saginaw, you can go down north, you can go down, any one of them streets, Fleming Road, and you can see houses with blue tarps on the roofs. You can see houses that need windows. It's about to be cold outside. It's people. You come right out of downtown. You can see people pushing. I told you last night I saw a lady pushing a baby stroller with a towel. The baby had a towel on. You know, the towel over the stroller. He didn't even have a blanket on the baby. You know what I mean? Like, and this is right off of downtown. Like, you gotta see this type of shit, and if it don't make you feel some type of way, then you ain't got no heart. You need to get out the way, because it's people that need stuff here. Like, I ain't gonna mention a certain person's name, but I called them about people needing shelter, a home. You know what I mean? To be put on the list for I don't do a brain fire, but people needing help, and you know, it's people out here on vacation, but it's other people out here suffering. That shit is annoying to me. It's cold outside. It's cold weather out here.
Yeah, it's 44 degrees right now. We are 12 degrees off of freezing.
This is crazy. Like,
and we're in the frozen north, surrounded by lakes. We're just going to get winter storms like we do every winter, all winter. And there's kids going to school in just a hoodie. Or we see folks down on their luck hanging out next to, I think it's the Center for Hope, right?
Yeah, that's the place. That's the name of it, yeah.
And, you know, some of them only have T-shirts. That's the only belongings they have. So they put on 2 or 3 at once, but their arms are still chilly, and, you know, gets to the trunk. And we see several cases of hypothermia a year here. And this is supposed to be the richest, most developed country in the world.
You used to see an influx of homeless people going to jail down in Detroit around this time, you know, when it started getting cold, because at least they could go and be out of the cold, be out of the elements, and they can get somewhere to sleep, and they can get 3 meals a day. And it makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, if you ain't got nowhere else to go bust a window out, go take you to jail for 3 days. You know what I mean? At least you out the elements. But you shouldn't have to have that type of mentality around here. You know what I mean? Like, when we got all this money going into downtown, and you look at the Center of Hope, there's people walking around there. Then you look at that bus stop that's right across the street. They huddle it all. They huddled all up in there. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a little pimp city up in that little area right there. Like, if you coming into downtown, you got from the north, you gotta see that.
I gotta address Mr. Dre here. He goes, "How is it that cold already?" And
this is Michigan.
To be honest with you, Michigan weather was acting like it was on the highway and saw a state trooper put the brakes on real fast. Because last week it was hitting 80 and I was dripping sweat in my backyard, just cutting some wood. So, donate. There are plenty of programs and resources out there. You pick your poison, and I'm pretty sure we can find you one. You know what? On my personal page later today, I'm probably going to go through and post several winter clothing donation places. If you want to put money into it, or if you've got old clothing, gently worn or brand new, that you can put into it. Mr. Clack here and I were speaking last night. If you would like to go ahead and present that, Mr. Clack.
Sure. We're getting ready to kick off a blanket drive. So it's getting like we were just saying how cold it's getting. I'm like down here in my basement, but the heat is on, but I'm still kind of chilly, you know. but it's 44 degrees out here. I think it's supposed to top out at 50, 51 degrees today. So what we were thinking is to have a start off with a blanket drive, maybe even gloves and socks, hats, scarves, but definitely blankets, so we can donate to these different locations. We got people that need help. At the very least that we could do is reach down into our pockets and get them a blanket, a pair of socks, some gloves, a hat, a scarf, preferably new, but gently used. We'll take those as well. There'll be some information out. Hopefully, we're getting all the specifics and the drop off places together now. So hopefully by next week, when Trevor and I come on, we'll have more information and have more specifics about where we have the drop off places and what all. But we are looking for preferably new but gently used blankets, hats, scarves, socks. We'll even take coats, but definitely blankets, so we can drop off to these different unhoused populations. I don't want to call them homeless, but people that are unhomed. Let's say that.
People that are having a rough spot.
There you go.
I
So
mean,
next week, hopefully by this time next week, next Wednesday, we'll have places where you can drop off, or you can donate, or where you can we can just meet you and pick up. So yeah.
And if you want a recommendation, I can give you two real quick, folks. That'll help people. If you go to any Army surplus store, they usually have them brand new and they're fairly cheap. Silk weight tops and bottoms, and then medium weight tops and bottoms. And they're what soldiers use. I mean, silk weights are literally silk weight, very thin, but it's very very tightly woven material. And you can wear that and go for like a mile march in cold weather and you're sweating. If you're staying static, staying still all day, the medium weights, or waffle tops, as we like to call them, make a huge difference. My wife has stolen all of mine. I no longer own any waffle tops. She has stolen mine. If that gives you an idea of how well they work, because she's a northern girl, I'm a southern guy, and she says these are great. They are now mine. So I think you can help out a lot of folks for very cheap with those.
Well, it's getting ready to be, Thanksgiving is getting ready to be, I just feel like even though we all are, ain't nobody rich around here. I don't want to say we're barely hanging on, but we're surviving. It ain't like we're, living life to the fullest. We're resilient. We're surviving. But there are people that are definitely doing worse out here right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there are definitely people. There's a big population out here in Flint that's below the poverty line. I want to say it's 40 or 50%, something like that, ain't it?
I think it's 43%.
42.
Give me a second to double check
I think
that.
it's like 42 or 43%, if I'm not mistaken. But that's a big chunk of the population here. So everybody here could use a little bit of help. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go buy a couple of blankets. I know my mom's got a couple. That's gonna start us off. So we got some blankets. And they don't have to be the most extravagant, but anything is, I won't say anything is better than nothing, because we ain't the ones that's gonna be utilizing the blankets when it's cold outside. But just a little bit of something that we can give to somebody to let them know that somebody out here care for them.
According to US Census.gov, 41%.
See, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, damn near half the city's living in extreme poverty. This is extreme poverty, so living on less than $18,000 a year.
And when you look at our education level, that's like a big population. I want to say it's like up to 60 or 70 that have less than a 7th grade reading level, 8th grade education and reading level. So like we're gonna be like that for a while.
Yeah. Good morning to you. Yeah, I mean,
well, wait a minute. Let me take that back, because they are pushing us out. Gentrification is alive and well here in Flint. They're building $125, to $250,000 houses. Somebody's calling me.
You don't need to take that phone call.
No, this is my
No,
buddy Gary. Shout out to Gary Lee.
I think one of the biggest issues, man, is while billions have flowed in to Flint since the 90s, and that it came courtesy of Philip Lee, it hasn't ever really been directed toward improving people's lives.
Not at all.
I mean, the only impact we felt from these ARPA funds is watching these fat cats struggle with each other to get their hands on more of it.
We got $300 in the water credit.
God, and I still hate that. I hate that 100% because landlords, picked up a $300 water credit, but their tenants didn't see that. That didn't trickle down to them. People living in apartments didn't see that. Oh, he ran away again. And he's back. Yeah, so tenants didn't see it. Landlords did. And they just pocketed the money that just kept on coming. It's... I think that's the only thing we've seen other than a lot of entertainment down at city council or running around Facebook, yelling at each other, trying to pick up some money and trying to defame each other so they look better on these resumes and applications, not knowing that really the mayor decides, but that's a different show altogether.
Yeah. Sorry, I got lost. I got taken out for a while.
Yeah. Someone took you out, huh?
Yeah.
But
do you got anything else? We got the blanket drive. We got we've got a board meeting tonight. You guys. 5:30.
What's on the agenda?
I do know we have discussions of Houston Stadium renovations, like I just brought up.
Okay.
You
gonna have your presentation ready?
No, I'm gonna wait until we get done with the discussion.
Okay, so we'll give it like 2 or 3 weeks before you actually get it up there.
Nope, maybe just next week.
All right.
Point of information.
What's up?
What's your point?
Oh yeah, I'm just getting back, y'all. I was working the chat because I was on an important call about some things. No, I was trying to make sure when our lights was coming in and the mic stands and stuff. Still at the end of the month. Oh, okay. This is what I want to know. Do anybody know what happened at the board and actors accountability? Can anybody in the chat?
I know I don't. I tried sleeping and it didn't work. I know a few people running around Facebook saying that it was crazy. So
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Can somebody send the link to the Ethics and Accountability Board?
Give me a second. Let me see if I can even find it on here.
Oh, they said right. Every extreme low income currently is 17,500. 17,500. Sound like one of Jeezy's songs. Damn.
Yeah, but if that's the most that somebody's bringing in a year, that's what, 1,500 a month.
17,500. You said?
Yeah, that's rough.
Wait a second.
1,700
divided by 12. You're looking at $1,458.33.
Yeah, see, I'm off by $42. See, my math ain't all the way wrong, but it's still mathing.
Right. Okay, Philip Lee said, I saw some of it, but the audio was a bit weird. Well, Renee said, I was thinking about moving to Flint, but I've been watching the councilman. I will stay where I'm at. Smart. Yeah, smart. I ain't going to. Until I get this water together.
No. I mean, I've kept my my VA home loan in my back pocket since I got out of the Army. And at first it was until I got my credit up. Now my credit's up. And things continue on here. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to stay.
You said that's per. You're like, Lord have mercy. I mean, with Flint, And see, that's to me, that's what I think they want people to do. They really tiring us out. So, all right, so what is the conversation? I just got back on here. All right, I was busy for a hot second. And
Yeah,
what was y'all talking
they're
about?
trying to push folks out. Just a moment ago, it was the we were looking at folks in a bad spot in their life.
Oh,
And like winter's coming, to quote that Game of Thrones show that no one really likes anymore. Clack saw that someone was pushing a stroller down the street the other day with just a towel over it instead of a blanket. So we're organizing a blanket drive, and we're telling people where they can go to donate jackets and things of the like, just to help the community help itself. And we are giving reasons why this is necessary, because the city of Flint, 41% is living underneath the poverty level, a lot of that in extreme poverty.
wow.
Oh, I hope I didn't say anything to make Art laugh too loud. Nah.
Yeah, that's rough right there. So, Clack, any of the other organizations is doing coat drives, or it's not?
I don't know. There may be, but all I know is what I can do, man. So
That's what's up. That's what's up.
I'm sure there are plenty of organizations.
Crossover outreach.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about their reputation. I've heard about them a few times, though.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm sure there are plenty of organizations, but I just feel like at the end of the day, this is, Mike Clack and his buddies can do something, and this is what we can do. It ain't much, but this is what our contribution.
And with material on hand instead of cash on hand, you can be sure that, okay, I'm giving a blanket. I know that's not going to end up in one of these guys' houses. They've got, we're taken care of. Whereas cash, you never know where that's going.
Becky said we can bring him to the library, so I'll see about reaching out to her to see if the library could be one of our official drop-off spots. So I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call. So that's one drop in the bucket. I wanted to have at least 3 drop-off spots so we can pick them up weekly. And depending on how good the reception is, maybe even daily. You know what I mean? But there's a need, and there's definitely a need. So,
and while you're at the library, pick up a library card and show support for a public library.
Yes, please pick up a library card. Your tax dollars pay for this library. I got to go get mine updated, but me and my son, but we got library cards. We check out books. But when I got the time, I just go to the library just to kind of chill and hang out. But the library, I love the library. I do. As a matter of fact, that's another thing that I got to do. Since I love it so much, I have to make sure that our kids are getting their fair share of time, equal time in the library. So I definitely have to bring that up at the board meeting as well, about our kids in the district, our kids not getting their fair share of time in the Flint Public Library.
Some of these classes, get them up to the library and have them put on a podcast. They've got a nice podcast room for that. They've got these beautiful meeting rooms. When you held the candidate forum, I think like 15 minutes before you started that up, I had checked out a room in the library to use for an interview for another thing. It's quick, easy, and free. I love free.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not free. It comes out of taxes, but it doesn't come directly out of my pocket when I ask for it. Yeah. Which is a huge deal.
Now, here's the thing about the library. Now, this has nothing to do with the library, so it's all to do with the board. You come out the library, that beautiful building. On one side, you got a brand new museum. You got a brand new school on this one side. You got a brand new museum on this side. And then right behind it, you got this big, ugly ass structure with busted out windows and chipped off bricks and sofas in the back and fat back TVs hanging out the parking lot. Mm-hmm. So that's another hurdle. That's another fish we got to fry, but we got to get to it. Like, it's not going anywhere. It's not doing anything but taking its place, getting uglier. So we're gonna have to do something with it. That's gonna be an ugly conversation, because there's some people that want us to build a new school on that property, and there's some people that don't want anything there. They don't want our Flint kids over there. So it's gonna be a fight with that.
Hey, Mike, Mr. Dre here in the YouTube chat is asking, are any food banks helping folks out? And I know you and Mr. Arthur do food giveaways with several of these churches. Could you give a shout out to some of those organizations?
Yeah, I do know that the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan does do some helping out. I just don't know, the specifics. I do know, what's her name? Rolisha, I forgot her last name, but she works over at the Food Bank of Eastern Michigan. I do know that Art does a lot with St. Mark's Baptist Church up there on McClellan and DuPont. They do food giveaways every other Wednesday. I think it started at 9 in the morning. Art, correct me if I'm wrong. Dang, ain't today Wednesday? Did I miss it, or is it next Wednesday? I hope I didn't miss it today because I had the time. I could have gone up there and helped out today.
Oh wow, I ain't for sure. Art in the chat. Gotta ask Art. Because Art usually shared on his page.
I hope it's next Wednesday that I didn't miss it. I might have missed it though today.
Next Wednesday, Art said he just. I'm gonna put it up.
Yeah. So it's right there on the corner. Thompson. It's right there. It's Pastor Thompson. He's a good guy, man. Right there in the corner of McClellan and DuPont. Last time I went, when I was up there with Art, the line was wrapped all the way around Iroquois by King School. So they definitely service a lot of people. They was giving away fruit, squash, milk. There was grapes, big boxes of food. It had meat in there, cereal. Let me see, potatoes, water.
Damn.
It was giving away all type of stuff, like cakes and the cookies and donuts. They had all type of stuff. It was all type of stuff in there.
Okay. So to answer your question, it's next Wednesday, Mike, for the food giveaway with Art. And then Wintus is asking, once again, when is the next school board meeting?
Tonight. The school board meeting is tonight. Let me see. I think it's at 5:30. I'm about to check my calendar real quick. It's either 5:30 or 6:30.
You guys, it's usually 5:30.
Yeah, I think next week is 6:30.
Wow, Art. If you got a link to that, please post it on your page. I got to watch that. That is dirty.
Wow, I got to go. Where is it at if I can find it? The Ethics and Accountability Board meeting.
I looked on YouTube. I couldn't find anything.
Wait, Billy said what? Billy told Joe, the sidekick,
her daddy is dead.
I know Billy. What he done did? What Billy done did? Billy she ain't about that bullshit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, they took it
Melissa,
down.
I love you very much. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Mickey and Wintus as well. Oh, and to Mike. Melissa just sent me the link. I'm going to mute it.
Okay.
And I will send it over to them. You are amazing.
Yeah, thank you again, Melissa.
So we can watch that.
Oh, they playing games on over there.
Games and games and games.
That's it. What's on the agenda tonight, Mike, on the school board?
I'm trying to find it real quick, man. I know we're talking about the we doing some upgrades up in Northwestern, up at Houston Stadium.
Okay,
I know I had
football.
The
football stadium.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's just put on the discussion. I don't think we can do any movement on that too much. Let me see. Where's my mail at? Well, I can't get to my email though.
I just put it in the chat.
What?
Thank you, Art. The ethics and accountability.
at the accountability board meeting.
Yeah, because I did a quick cursory glance while we were on here and I couldn't find it. So maybe my Google foo is, rusting with age.
Our meeting tonight is at 6:30.
6:30. You guys pushed it back a little bit.
The Houston Stadium up at Northwest, the old Northwest, what is it? The new Northwest? Hopefully the new Northwestern. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was Uma Strong Marshall Outreach. And I'm gonna put that up. She do coats. Socks. She do socks. Coats and socks.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do. Hey, that's okay. We'll do coat, socks, blankets, drawers, shit, whatever. Long johns,
gloves, and don't be like me and try giving out shooter gloves. They don't do nothing for you.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. Where is it? Temporary. Oh, let me see. Where is it? Oh, my computer just died.
Depressy spaghetti, my man.
Yeah, so
my computer just drank the depresso espresso.
You just got to tap into the school board meeting at 6:30. Oh, pull up.
6:30 tonight. Yeah, you can please, if you want. It's the committee of the whole meeting. So that's that. What that means is that's all of our subcommittees, academic subcommittee, human resources. Everybody has a report to give tonight, and we vote on whatever it is next week at the board meeting. So committee of the whole tonight.
Okay, so tonight is putting together your agenda for next week.
Yes.
As I'm understanding. Okay. See all these fun new terms, and I'm just sitting here going, can you talk stupid for me, please? You got to dumb down some of this.
Yeah.
You are talking to me.
No, but we all learning. I'm still learning about a whole lot. Trust me, I am. Trust me.
Yeah. Guys, first elected position. Let's make him president. You guys couldn't give him 6 months. Couldn't give him 6 months. It's fine. He's got the chops for it.
It's I wouldn't change anything. You know what I mean? Like it was a rush. It was I'm looking at previous boards and I'm looking at other school boards and I'm looking at city council and I'm like, I definitely don't want to be that. I for sure don't want to be that. I'm damn sure not about to be that. But I started off, I gotta say I was a little bit biased, and I had to. What really made me look at myself was watching city council and watching how, Councilwoman Lewis was hosting her meetings, and I hate to mention her out by name, but y'all have seen her meetings, and it's like I had to look at myself like, damn, I wonder, do I look like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder, am I just biased to this group over here that came in with me, and I'm just out looking or overlooking these people over here. And I guess ever since I took that look at myself and how I was chairing the meetings, our meetings have been a whole lot less violent. So colorful. Let me say that. Everything's
a lot less eventful.
Yeah, everything's been more respectful, and everybody, you know what I mean? They might not like all the politics or the way things are going, but at least they can't say that they word wasn't heard, they feelings weren't let out or anything like that. You can't say that.
I mean, as bad as it is to say, but as good as it is to say, your meetings have become boring, which in governance is good. Boring means you guys aren't up to any bullshit. I don't have to look any deeper into there than normal glance, and I don't have to sit there and bring popcorn for because I'm entertained with the fights going on. 810 family here, we tailgate at city council.
Yeah.
There's always a big black, store bag, convenience store bag, and in it is Funyuns for Mickey. There's water for Mickey. I always bring myself a Red Bull or two. I bring Wintus a candy bar and some tea. I've been known to bring candy up there.
I got the big bag of candy of Sour Patch Kids, top trolleys, and
I mean, it is the time of season now. We got to start bringing candy corn.
Yeah. if I see, this the whole thing. I'm a big kid. Every time I see candy corn, that was the corn we used to get and after Halloween and bring it back to school and throw it at each other in class because
Oh
nobody really ate
man,
it. Like it'd be candy corn throw out around the class. But that's
I
just
love candy corn. It is like pure sugar, and I don't really eat sugar, but I'll sit there and have a huge bowl of it and just snack on it throughout a day. Like, man, I love candy corn.
I can eat it a little bit. But yeah, that just brings back memories. We used to throw candy corn at each other all day long.
Now, what me and my classmates used to do was disassemble mechanical pencils, take a staple from the stapler, hit the stapler so it's bent, put it between, like you take off the cap of a mechanical pencil and you push in the back. So like the little duck lips, the pincers would come out, and you put the staple in there, then you pull back on it. And the force would actually send that staple flying across the room. Or you take a rubber band and you put an eraser in it and use it like a slingshot with your fingers.
Yeah, see, y'all were dangerous. You're putting people's eyes out.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
no, Winters. I'm not gonna do an update on that. There's nothing that I can say at this point, and that I'm going to say right now. Anything that I say, I'm gonna tell y'all just like I told TMZ and everybody else. That girl is a minor. I'm not gonna give up any of her personal information. There will be a hearing, and that's all I can say.
can I avoid asking about the young lady and ask about the teacher's condition.
The teacher is fine.
Okay.
They're back at work.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
heard
sure if
she
they
was
were concussed.
concussed.
I'm not sure if they were concussed. I don't want to put out false information, but I can say that they're back at work.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like she's recovering well. We hope that it stays going that way for her.
Hope so.
Shit happens. It's a school. You're around kids. I'm pretty sure you've been in some situations like in there and around that as a teacher.
I ain't gonna say I've been hit with a chair, but I've been hit with some objects over these years. I
Equally tense situations. Maybe not objects flying around the room, but two students getting riled up, and you're going, "This is going to cause my heart rate to spike. Children, please settle down."
I'm not at liberty to talk about what's going on. There hasn't.
I'm talking about you personally.
No, I'm listening to Winter. I'm looking at Winter's comment. Like again, I can't. There hasn't been any. There's been a formal statement put out. I can't put out anything else until the board as a whole talks about everything. So there's things that have been put in place. Even before that whole incident happened, that there were things that have been put in place. There was already knowledge of an altercation or a disliking between two students. I can't really say too much more. Things were put in place. It wasn't the staff. It wasn't anybody else's. It wasn't anybody. Wasn't at fault. It was. Y'all saw what happened. Everything else, the staff knew that there is an issue between two students. They put safety measures in. It just what you can't stop everything. So all I can say is when everything comes out, you'll see that everything before this incident happened, there were measures put in place to keep this person from doing. We knew about an altercation possibly happening. We didn't know it was going to get this far, but there were measures put in place to keep those two students apart. And then there was another student that this particular student had an issue with, and then things jumped off like it was. So that's pretty much all I can say. I can't fill in the blank too much more.
Okay.
Well, we'll end it on that note, fellas.
Yeah.
What y'all got to say? We've been over an hour.
So I know we did a show last night from the studio. That was one set. Today, Mickey and I are going to get up there and get the other set up so we can continue using the studio for all shows. But, some shows are set A, some shows are set B. So keep your eyes out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you watch the school board meeting tonight. Right?
Most definitely.
6:30. Committee of the
6:30. And Mr. Clack, you got something to take us out on?
Nah, just stay tuned. 810, we got moves excuse me, I just dinner fight for myself, man. We got moves making. We're making moves. I wasn't trying to be funny. I just combined two different statements. I didn't.
No, it makes sense though.
So yeah, we're making moves. A10's making moves. The Flint Community Schools, we got things that are getting ready to happen. Big things, hopefully. So I don't know.
Well, peace.
Later.